you know someone who is chronically or terminally ill, but seems to still have the best attitude, and you think to yourself, how is that possible? Or maybe you are the chronically ill person and you just can't fathom how to smile in the face of it all. I mean, how can you? Well, I feel you, and I have one word for you: perspective. How that person chooses to see his or her world, or how you choose to see your own experiences, affects their attitude toward life and everything around it. This is a realization truly changed my life, which is why I wanted to share my thoughts with you on it today. The dictionary describes the word perspective as a particular attitude towards, or a way of regarding something, basically a point of view. And Jeannie has mentioned before that whatever you focus on grows. So why not take ownership of how you view things? A favorite quote of mine on the topic of perspective is this one: a healthy perspective can help individuals face difficult truths about their weaknesses, identify and build on strengths, and guide them to altruistic compassion for a powerful motivating force for growth or change. A good example of this is joy. Joy is said to be that internal quality that is unaffected by outside circumstances. So basically, it begins with you. And that is where your story begins and ends. And it's up to you to choose what lens you are going to look out of. Now, I think a lot of people get stuck because they feel that experiences, especially bad ones, have happened to them, which is an immediate victim mentality. This could be, for example, a situation in the past where you couldn't do anything to stop it or change it, or it could be something you're currently, you can't change it or you can't do anything about. But how can someone possibly move, grow, looking the world through that lens if they're feeling like they're being hindered with this victim mentality? Now, in the case of something like childhood abuse, you probably couldn't do something in that moment. You were just a child. However, you can do something now by means of changing your story moving forward, starting by changing your perspective. Now, I know it's not always that simple, and you may be thinking, but I can't change blank or this situation. It can't be fixed, or it wouldn't be easy, so why bother mentality. Well, it's not possible to think positively, while I'm dealing with this. We may be thinking these thoughts. So here's an example. Maybe you're stuck in a toxic relationship and you don't have the funds to leave. You feel that happiness is impossible because you need to save money first, and the problem can't be solved otherwise until then. Sure, not having enough money is a physical reason you cannot leave, but you could still change your perspective for the better while you're saving up. I'm not in a positive environment now, but I can still look at this through a positive lens. I can save up the money and I can take my power back. So that's something we could replace. Fear and trauma stemming from the past actions of others may actually be blocking us, especially with chronic illness. And in my personal experience, I had fear and trauma surrounding doctors because of some of the ones I had worked with made me feel so powerless. And if I ever experience these feelings now, I like to say to myself, there's no need to hold on to this anymore. It serves no purpose for me. And this is really helpful because our minds and our bodies may be holding on to painful experiences, but when we see how detrimental that is to our healing and that it only hurts us, we can try to let it go. There have been many situations that were out of my control, and I'm sure the same goes for you. But control over external circumstances is not the end game. You always have the ability to maintain your internal safety and power, and that way no power is given to an external or outside issues or circumstances. It's also important to toss away the I can't resolve blank pattern of thinking. I can't move on until blank. More often than not, we're blocking future possibilities by maintaining this limited way of thinking, and really we're just putting ourselves in a box this way. And maybe once we change our outlook, we can see things more clearly. Doors will open and more possibilities and solutions will arise. So even if things don't change, wouldn't it be better to live a life feeling full and joyful instead of all the other things that we've discussed? So I hope that this video has given you some inspiration, some hope. Please drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this one. Until next time, happy healing, and remember, always listen to your gut.